Now, there are some things you need to be aware of when you are using spray foam as your form of condensation prevention and air control. There is some potential for the spray foam to crack, especially in colder climates where there is a larger temperature difference between the exterior environment and the interior conditioned space. Warm, moist air wants to diffuse into the assembly. We have an impermeable roof membrane here, and a lot of roof membranes are less than 0.1 perms, and closed cell spray foam is around 1 perm for 2 inches and around 0.25 perms for 5 to 6 inches. This may not seem like a lot of a difference, but it's enough to where moisture can diffuse up into the assembly and get trapped here during the cold months. Again, it's not a lot of moisture, but it does increase the moisture content of the sheathing and the framing up here. Then, the heat of the sun drives that moisture back inside. When the wood is saturated, it expands, but when it dries, it contracts. So that means that if there is a rapid expansion and contraction of the framing, the spray foam that's bonded to the framing members can crack, and this negates the effects of the air barrier. So moisture can still leak through via air leakage and condense on the cold sheathing, and rot out the decking since it can't dry out easily. So we can get some spray foam failures in cold climates if it's installed on the underside of the roof deck, so it's not a perfect solution by any means. To prevent this from occurring, we have a couple options at our disposal. In this detail, you'll see that we're calling out layers of rigid insulation outboard of the decking and above the spray foam layer, and what this does is it warms up the surface of the deck, keeping it at more consistent temperatures without having these large temperature fluctuations that could result in a crack at the spray foam layer. Additionally, it provides a thermal break to prevent thermal bridging that results in heat loss or heat gain through the roof framing. So this rigid insulation provides a lot of benefits. This isn't the only issue that we run into with spray foam though. We're learning that spray foam has a tendency to off-gas chemicals long after it's been installed, and even if it's been installed properly. Some of these chemicals are odorless and quite harmful, so we need to be thinking about how we're using spray foam and maybe avoid it in situations where we have sensitive building occupants, and even consider moving away from spray foam altogether as a strategy. There are applications where spray foam makes sense, and others where you may want to opt for a different option.